Okay, let's unpack this. We're going deep today, diving into something, well, incredibly personal, your health, your vitality, your sense of well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not just looking at it through, the standard medical lens.
Right.
This deep dive is really about exploring it through a much broader lens, one that draws from cosmic vision, ancient wisdom, and even hints found in modern
Yes,
science.
that's right. And the sources we've been looking at, they really try to weave these different threads together. They suggest a fundamental connection, between
Mm.
the huge universal patterns of the cosmos.
And the most intimate personal reality of our own physical bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to see how these really big universal ideas, like the universe being rhythmic, dynamic, alive with energy, this system of constant, balanced interchange,
Constant give and take.
how might that actually apply directly to your physical being, to your health? How does that grand cosmic dance relate to the dance happening inside your body right now?
Well, what's fascinating here is starting with the perspective of someone like Walter Russell. He had this unique cosmic philosophy.
Right.
And he saw the universe not as like a pile of static objects, but as this dynamic system. Everything in rhythmic, balanced interchange.
So constant motion, constant energy exchange.
Absolutely. Everything from stars down to atoms is perpetually moving, giving and re-giving energy, charging and discharging. It's a constant flow.
Okay, and he took that big idea, that universal principle, and applied it directly to health and disease in us, in the individual form.
He did. He didn't look at disease in that typical mechanistic way.
Like, oh, it's just bad luck you caught a bug, or your body's like a machine that just randomly broke down.
No, not that at all. His view was that health with a capital H maybe is the natural state.
Okay.
It's being in perfect rhythmic harmony with those universal cycles,
Yeah.
giving and re-giving, charging, discharging, integration, disintegration.
So it's like we're supposed to be in tune with that universal rhythm.
Exactly. He described it beautifully, actually, like the cosmic song playing clearly and harmonically within your own localized form, within you.
I like that, the cosmic song playing inside you. So then, disease, from this viewpoint, it must be the opposite of that perfect rhythm.
Fundamentally, yes. It's seen as a disruption of that natural rhythm, an imbalance in that constant giving and re-giving of energy within the body. Think of it like a discord, a note played out of tune in that cosmic song that's supposed to be singing harmonically inside you.
Okay, so health is the song playing right, disease is a note gone wrong, a rhythm disrupted. If we stick with that cosmic song idea, the universe is often described as having this rhythm, like a kind of cosmic breath, right?
The inhalation, compression, charging,
Yeah.
then the exhalation, expansion, discharging.
You're saying in a healthy system, whether that's the whole cosmos or just our bodies, these things should flow smoothly, harmonically.
Precisely. These processes, charge, discharge, build up, breakdown, they should flow smoothly, maintaining this perfect dynamic balance within the system, within you.
So the disruption happens when that delicate internal rhythm gets lost or interfered with somehow.
Exactly. That's when things start to go off track.
And the sources we looked at, they point to specific things that can actually throw off this internal rhythm within our bodies. What are some of those?
They list a few key areas. Discordant thoughts and emotions, for one.
Right. The mind-body connection again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thoughts and feelings aren't just abstract. They have energy. They have a vibratory quality. Environmental toxins are mentioned too, things that can literally clog the body's channels, disrupt the flow.
Makes sense.
Poor nourishment is another food that lacks the vital energy or the necessary structure needed to really participate in this vibrant interchange.
So not just calories, but the quality of energy in the food.
Exactly. And chronic stress, that's a big one. It can lock your system into a state of perpetual tension, kind of overriding those natural charge and discharge rhythms.
Like being stuck in on mode all the time.
Yeah, precisely. And importantly, they also mention a resistance to the natural flow of life cycles. Pushing against the need for rest, resisting change, ignoring those intuitive feelings about when to be active or still.
So fighting the natural current, basically.
You could put it that way, yes.
So when these disruptions happen, the bad thoughts, the toxins, the stress, the resistance, what's the actual consequence for the body, for the physical form.
Well, that rhythmic interchange starts to falter. Energy gets blocked up, it gets congested, it becomes stagnant. Stuck. Or sometimes the opposite happens, and energy just leaks away uncontrollably. You feel drained.
Okay.
The source material describes the body's pattern, this template of conditioned light and energy that essentially forms your physical being. It starts to distort. It vibrates disharmonically.
And that's what shows up as illness, pain, disease.
That's the idea. That disharmonic vibration manifests physically as what we experience as illness or pain or just feeling fundamentally off that sense of disease.
You know, it's really fascinating how this whole perspective, looking at health and disease through harmony and rhythm, it really seems to resonate with what we're seeing emerge in modern holistic health models.
It really does, doesn't it? Holistic approaches, they're not just focused on treating isolated symptoms in separate parts, like, fixing one component in a machine.
Right, not just the faulty spark plug.
Exactly. They try to understand the whole person, mind, body, spirit, environment, because they recognize that everything is deeply interconnected. You can't really separate them.
So if you have disharmony showing up in one area, maybe your emotional state is completely out of whack.
Yeah.
It's inevitably going to affect other areas like your physical body because it's all one system.
Absolutely. It's all aspects of a single unified system, which means true healing in this context isn't just about managing symptoms or putting a bandage on the problem.
It's deeper.
It involves restoring balance, harmony, and flow to the entire system, getting to the root of that rhythmic disruption.
And this is where those different threads we've been gathering, the cosmic view, the ancient wisdom, the modern science, they really start to intertwine and kind of support each other, don't they?
They really do. We can bring in what we understand now about the mind-body connection, even from neuroscience.
Yeah, that scientifically documented power of our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotional states, how they directly influence our physical form and function.
We see it all the time. Think about the placebo effect.
Where just believing you'll get better can actually trigger physical healing.
Exactly. Or the flip side, the nocebo effect, where negative expectations can literally cause physical harm.
Wow.
And psychosomatic illness is a clear example, too. Chronic mental or emotional stress showing up as very real, tangible physical ailments.
Even things like neuroplasticity.
Right. The fact that our thoughts and focus can physically change the structure of our brain over time, it shows how powerful the mental side is.
So these aren't just like fuzzy concepts.
Not at all. And from the perspective we're exploring today, that mental or emotional disharmony, those discordant thoughts and feelings the sources mention, they weren't just psychological noise.
Okay.
They're described as actual energetic patterns, vibrations, if you will. And these patterns can directly disrupt the physical rhythm of your body. They can alter those subtle energetic patterns and potentially pave the way for disease.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about chronic worry. It's not just a feeling in your head, is it?
No, you feel it physically. Tension, maybe stomach issues.
Exactly. The sources describe worry as an energetic pattern that can create physical tension, disrupt the rhythmic contractions of your digestion, maybe even suppress your immune function, literally throwing your physical form out of its natural, healthy rhythm.
That makes a lot of sense. And this idea of energy flowing through the body being disrupted, it ties in so well with those ancient Eastern concepts, doesn't it? Like Shi or prana.
Absolutely. Shi in Taoism, prana in Hinduism. These traditions view these not as just metaphors, but as vital life forces, subtle energies that must flow freely and harmonically through specific pathways in the body, meridians, nadis, for you to be healthy.
And their understanding of illness lines up too then.
Perfectly. In these systems, blockages, stagnation, or imbalances in the flow of qi or prana are seen as the fundamental root cause of illness.
Which is basically what Russell was saying from his cosmic perspective, disease as a disruption in the rhythmic flow and interchange of universal energy within your form.
It's a remarkable convergence of ideas, isn't it, from very different angles?
Yeah, which explains why practices like acupuncture, qigong, tai chi, pranayama, yoga, they all make sense in this context.
Exactly. They're all designed with a very specific purpose. Clearing those energetic blockages, restoring the rhythmic flow and balance of that vital energy, and ultimately bringing your individual system back into harmony with those larger cosmic or energetic patterns.
Something else that's really compelling in the sources is this idea that our bodies might actually be like miniature reflections of the cosmos, a microcosm mirroring the macrocosm. Could disruptions in the cosmic rhythms around us also subtly, maybe significantly, manifest as physical disharmony within you.
It's the profound question, isn't it? If we are somehow linked by shared fundamental rhythms, could being chronically out of sync with natural cycles affect us?
Things like the daily rhythm of light and dark are circadian rhythm.
Right, or moon phases, the seasons, maybe even larger planetary or solar cycles. Could being misaligned with those impact our internal balance and health over time?
Well, we already know scientifically that some things are definitely influenced, right? Like our sleep patterns, hormonal cycles, mood, energy levels. They're strongly tied to cycles like the sun and moon.
Yes, exactly. And this perspective we're exploring suggests that connection goes even deeper, to a fundamental energetic level where our internal rhythms are perhaps designed to resonate with the universal ones.
So living consistently against that cosmic flow, constantly resisting those natural cycles of rest and activity, growth and decay.
It could potentially be a subtle yet chronic source of disharmony that eventually shows up physically. It's like swimming against the current all the time. Eventually, it takes a toll.
Okay, so if we try to pull all these different threads together,
Yeah.
now Russell's cosmic vision, the ancient wisdom from the East, these hints from modern science, we arrive at a really powerful realization about health.
Yeah, it seems like your health isn't just about the physical mechanics, the chemistry, the biology alone, important as they are.
It's also profoundly about living in harmony.
Harmony with your own thoughts and emotions, harmony with the energy flowing through you, and perhaps, yeah, harmony with the grand, intelligent rhythms of the cosmos itself.
There's that phrase in the source, worms are metaphors, but metaphors bite.
Right. Which emphasizes that these seemingly abstract ideas about harmony and rhythm, they aren't just poetic, they have tangible physical impacts on your being. They bite.
So in this integrated view, health isn't just the absence of symptoms. It's not just that your parts are working efficiently.
No, it's more than that. It's the presence of harmonious rhythmic flow, a state of dynamic balance and energetic vitality. It's when that cosmic song is playing clearly and powerfully within your being.
And disease, then, isn't some kind of punishment or just a random attack.
It's framed very differently. It's seen more as the universe's signal, a note played out of tune, indicating a disrupted rhythm.
Ah, signal.
Yeah, an urgent invitation, really, to listen closer, to try and identify the source of the discord, and then to take steps to restore the harmony, the balance, the flow.
It reminds me of that quote from Zoran in The Material.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Your body is a tiny universe, singing the cosmic song with every breath. Disease is merely a note played out of tune, a rhythm disrupted. Listen to the music and find the harmony again.
That really sums it up beautifully, doesn't it? Listen to the music.
It does. And, to help bring this potentially big idea down into daily life, the source suggests a practical exploration. They call it the dragon trial.
Right. A way to test this out for yourself.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Choose just one small daily habit related to your well-being. Could be anything, how you eat a meal, when or if you take a walk, your sleep schedule, maybe how you react in a moment of stress, your morning routine. Just pick one thing.
Okay, got one habit in mind. Then what?
Then the practice is just to pause and reflect. Does that one habit, the way you currently do it, does it feel aligned with a natural harmonious rhythm? Does it feel balanced, effortless, life-giving?
Yeah.
Or does it feel kind of disruptive, maybe rushed, out of sync with your natural flow? Does it feel draining?
Interesting question to ask about, say, scrolling your phone first thing in the morning.
Exactly. Or wolfing down lunch at your desk. So after that reflection, the invitation is just to consider, how might a small conscious adjustment towards more rhythm or balance in just that one habit feel in your body, in your mind?
So not a huge overhaul, just a small tweak towards harmony.
Precisely. And then try making that small adjustment just for a day or two and simply observe. See if you notice any difference. No judgment, just observation.
What might you notice is the idea.
Yeah. It's a way to test this whole concept in a really personal, tangible way. Does tuning into rhythm, even in these small adjustments, actually have a noticeable impact on your sense of vitality, your well-being?
A little experiment on yourself.
Exactly. So the provocative thought maybe to leave you with from this deep dive is this. What might happen if you began consciously listening? Not just to the obvious physical sensations in your body.
But to the subtle rhythms within you and the rhythms around you in nature, maybe even the cosmos.
Yeah. And what if you actively allowed yourself to move just a little more in sync with them? What could that ongoing practice of tuning into that inner and outer music, what might that reveal about your health, your energy, and your true vitality over time?
Something definitely worth exploring.